Hello Year 6, welcome to week 1 of our new science unit all about light. Now, here are some resources that you may be able to get which will help you. Now, the first resources are two non-opaque. Non-opaque means it allows light to travel through it so you can kind of see through it. Coloured plastic cups or bowls. Now, you don't have to have those. Access to a window and an indoor light. This you will need a piece of any paper, at least A4 size if you can. If you need to carefully tear a piece out of your book, then you can do so. But any type of paper will be great. You will need your science book, a ruler and a pencil. And we're going to get to an optional activity later on in the learning. And for that, you will need a kitchen draining board, a marble, kitchen foil, some paper, and a piece of cutlery. Okay, now this is the important resource I want you to have. The others, fantastic if you can get them. If not, don't worry. So, the last time you did light as a specific unit on its own was year 3. Okay, now we always revisit it, and going back to this will help you with the year 6 lessons. So I'd like you to fill in the blanks, finish the sentence. You can write them down or do it in your head. So pause the video and have a really hard go at that now. The answers then. A source of light makes light. Now you could have the exact words or you might have got something similar or you may not have, but you've given it a go. The sun and other stars, fires, torches and lamps all make their own light and so are examples of sources of light. Darkness is the absence of light. That's actually been a total recall question before in our unit, last unit. Shadows are formed when the light from a light source is blocked by a solid or opaque object. And looking at the sun is very dangerous. Now pause and have a read of those again just to refresh your memory. So in your science book, can you very neatly write the short date? The title is light, and then have a read of the WILFs. They will make sense when we get to the task. Now, here's key vocabulary that we're going to be using throughout the unit. I'm not going to pause and read through these now, but it is kind of a help slide if you need to come back and kind of remind yourself what a word means. Okay, so I'll just leave it up for a few seconds if you need to come back at all. Today's learning power focus, making links. As I said, we've done light in year 3 and we've revisited it in different ways for year 4 and year 5, but now we've got a whole unit again on it in year 6. Okay, can you please cover your eyes with your hands and then after about 10 seconds, 30 seconds, open your eyes. And I want you to talk to, if you're working with an adult or on your own, think about what you see and why. So you may have thought that your hands are opaque. They block light travelling to your eyes, so that is why it's dark. Now make sure your eyes are uncovered and look for a window. I want you to talk to an adult or think about how things look and why they look that way. So you may have reasoned that glass is transparent. This means light passes through glass easily, so you see a clear image. So we're starting to revisit vocabulary like opaque, transparent. And then if you have these kind of cups, you can do it. If not, don't worry. So if you've got 2 coloured plastic cups, can you put one over each eye? What can you see now? Or what do you think you will see? These cups are translucent, meaning that they let some light through. So what you see is cloudy or blurred. So 3 key pieces of vocabulary we've revisited there. Opaque, transparent, translucent. Key to our light unit. And now we're going to watch a video that will take us all the way back to year 3, just to really remind ourselves of all the things we need to know about light.
What would our lives be like without any light? We would live in a world of darkness. we wouldn't be able to see anything. Light allows us to see. But what is light? Light is a form of energy. When you turn on a flashlight, it sends out beams of light. We say that the flashlight emits light. Objects that emit light are called light sources. Light leaves the light source and travels in straight lines. You only see something because light bounces off it and into your eyes. This is called reflection. Reflected light allows us to see the world around us. The sun is our biggest light source. It emits light in all directions. Everywhere we look, light is being reflected, lighting up our world.
Now, as you know, the beauty of kind of these online lessons, one of the positive things is you can stop and rewind. So if you'd like to watch that video again, just to recap, then please rewind and do so. And you can do that at any point as well. Okay, so what do you already know about how light travels? Think or talk about, if you're working with an adult, what these pictures tell you about how light travels. So just read the description. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Study the image carefully. This isn't just a 5-second task. It's kind of 5-10 minutes. And just really think about, perhaps write down what these pictures tell you about how light travels. Pause the video and have a go at that now. Okay, so we're going to move on to a short activity that I'd like you to all to do now that may tell you exactly what you had just thought about those pictures. So, with that piece of paper then, please can you make a tube by rolling up it? And then hold it up to one eye like a telescope and close or cover your other eye. Then point your telescope at a room light or a lamp, a source that gives out light, not the sun. We know that is very dangerous. And then when you do that, maybe do it a couple of times. Talk with an adult or think about what you can see through the tube. Pause the video and spend a little while doing that activity now. You may have reasoned then that you can only see what is directly in line with the tube and the inside of it. And this is because light travels in a straight line. And this is the key point from the lesson. Light travels in a straight line. So the only light entering your eye has travelled along the tube. That's why we can't see round corners. We can draw a ray diagram to show the path of light travelling from a light source, so something that creates its own light, to your eye. So here we've got our lamp, which is our light source, our light ray, and then my eye. And it's really important that the arrow shows the direction in which light travels from the light source to the eye. So we can't have the arrow going from eye to light source. It must be from the light source to your eye. Your task then, I would like you to draw 2 labelled ray diagrams showing how a light ray travels in straight lines from a light source to your eyes. In the first picture, can you use a torch for the light source? And in the second picture, can you use a candle? Now, In a moment, I'm going to move along and I'm going to show my diagram. Now, this is support if you are doing bronze. If you are doing silver or gold, then pause the video on this slide and have a go at it. Gold, remember, I'd like you to also draw 2 extra diagrams. So your first 2, use a torch and a candle for the light source. And then I'd like you to come up with 2 more. All right. Read the tips. They're really important. So silver and gold, crack on with that now. And pause the video. Bronze, if you need a little bit of support, then keep playing. And once you've all done that, restart the video and we'll move on to the final task of the lesson. So pause here, silver and gold. Now bronze and silver and gold, you'll be back on this after you've already done your work so you can check it. But here's are my diagrams. You can see I've titled it, labelled it with scientific language, and most importantly, I've used a ruler to correctly draw the light travelling from the light source to my eye. So bronze, there's the support for you to draw yours now. Off you go. Well done for completing that activity. Make sure you do send that to your teacher so that they can check. Now, a quick pit stop. What questions do you have about light? Okay, science, as we know, is all about curiosity, and we're going to come up with lots of questions as we do work. Some we will answer, some might be there for you to go and do further work on. Now, here are some pictures that might help you think of some questions you have about light. When you have those questions, write them underneath your diagram, and we'll see if we can explore some of those throughout the rest of the unit. So spend a few minutes now really looking at each picture and coming up with some of your own questions about light and things that perhaps you would like to learn about in the unit. Okie dokie. Now, if you go to where the resources and links were uploaded on Teams for today, you'll see that there is an extra link. Click on this link, or you can just type in this into your web page bar, and it's going to take you to a short video. I'd like you to write down 10 facts after the video that you now know all about light, and that's just going to help reinforce all the things we need to know. So spend a little bit of time doing that, and then we'll come back for the optional task and the plenary. So the optional extra then, if you have the resources to do it, then do it. If not, don't worry, because we are going to talk about it anyway. So observing a model of light traveling through different types of materials. You could model a light ray hitting transparent, translucent and opaque materials. To do this, roll a marble along a groove on your kitchen draining board and place something solid like a piece of cutlery in its path. Which property, transparent, translucent, opaque, do you think that represents? Then place a flat piece of paper in the marble's path. Which property do you think that represents? And then finally, smooth some kitchen foil into the grooves of the draining board along part of the marble's path. And what happens to it now? So if you're going to do that, off you go, and then come back. The rest of us, let's find out. So, light rays are affected when they hit something. When a light ray hits an opaque material, so in this case, we've got the piece of cutlery showing that, it is reflected and or its energy is absorbed, which means it stops. Light cannot travel through an opaque material, so the piece of cutlery would have stopped the marble. When light hits a translucent material, only some of it gets through. The light rays that continue change direction in an unpredictable way. This scattering blurs the image. So if you had the piece of paper over your grooves, you would have seen that the marble would have gone off in a different direction. So that represents translucent. And then when a light ray hits a transparent material at right angles, its direction remains the same. This means we see a clear image through air and windows. So the tinfoil, if I go back to the tinfoil, and you smooth it into the grooves, the marble would have just carried on. So that represents transparent. Okie dokie. To finish then, key learning, the one really important thing you need to take away from today is that we see things because light travels from a light source into our eyes, and light travels in straight lines. Two really key points of learning. And if you're still super curious, then I've got a little bit extra here that you can do to find out about the invention of the electric light bulb. So here's the link you can type in, or again, it will be with the other links for the lesson. Well done for today. A really great start to the unit, and I'm excited for what's coming up. See you soon.